Thanks for staying with us on Headlines Now. In news just coming in, more than 500 workers have gathered at the Poise Garden to demand the sacking of North Chennai District Secretary Shekhar Babu. There is high tension at the area at the moment. Our political reporter Shabir Ahmed now joins us for more details from the spot. Shabir, why are these workers demanding member Shekhar Babu's sacking in the first place? What can you tell us at this point?
Well, Shekhar Babu has been the district secretary of North Chennai for a very long time, and for a very long time he has been here acting as a North Chennai district secretary, and party workers who have come here allege that Shekhar Babu has been involved in many irregularities, and he has been biased towards several section of party workers, and he has been acting in favor of the DMK men who wanted some kind of favor from the AIADMK MLA there. He is also acting as an MLA from North Chennai. So it is quite clear that there is a kind of anti-incumbency wave against Shekhar Babu, and that has now come to the fore, and people from North Chennai have come here in large numbers, and they have been protesting. In fact, sources do tell us that while Jayalalitha was entering Poise Garden, her Poise Garden residence, in fact, they tried to raise slogans and to attract Jayalalitha's attention at this point in time. So it is definitely here there is adequate police protection at this moment to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Also, on the other hand, there are also Shekhar Babu's men who are there, and there is tension among both sides. And Shekhar Babu is right now inside Poise Garden residence, and a 5-member delegation has gone inside to meet Jayalalitha and to submit a memorandum to her regarding Shekhar Babu, and also several other MPs are also on their way to Poise Garden residence to meet Jayalalitha, who has just now come from Kodanad Estate, Evelyn.
Thanks indeed, Shabir, for joining us with that live update right from the Poise Garden. Let's now go across to our reporter Pratiksha, who joins us on the phone line. There is obviously quite a traffic trouble snarl there at the moment. Pratiksha, what does that area look like at the moment? Is that a route perhaps we need to avoid? Pratiksha, if you can hear me, is the Poise Gardens route maybe a route that people should maybe perhaps avoid at this point? Give us a traffic update from that area.
Yes, on Mount Road right now there is a huge traffic jam. In fact, traffic is completely blocked right up to literally Adyar, because there is supposedly an AIADMK meeting that is happening right now in Nandanam, so which is right near the Arts College, which is why there is a complete block of traffic, and even the side roads seem to be blocked, right? The ones leading off Tenampere into Koturpuram and the ones under the Gemini flyover.
All right, so make sure you try and deviate from that route if you can, but just a reminder that that is quite a traffic logged area if you are traveling on that route. Now, in other news that's perhaps angered many in the capital, a school cab driver who allegedly raped a minor girl and her brothers was beaten up at a police station in Delhi today. The driver Lalit, who was arrested last night, had been allegedly taken into custody for raping those minors in the last 1 year. Police have said that Lalit confessed to the crime and has also revealed names of his 4 co-accused, who are all minors studying in the same school. The minors have also made an MMS clip of the victims.
Part of the gang rape, and also made an MMS clip of the victims. The driver.
Well, the scene is no different in the city of Chennai as well, but good news has come a-calling. A young victim of sexual abuse has got justice after 7 long years. The man who raped her when she was just 9 years old will now be lodged in prison for 10 years. But this is just one needle in a haystack of child abuse cases. Even today, a van driver in Delhi was arrested, like we told you just shortly, for sexually abusing 3 children. So the need of the hour clearly is a comprehensive law to deal with sexual offences against children. Ragamalika brings you more on this shocking trend in our city.
A young girl who was raped on more than one occasion by her physical training teacher over 7 years ago has got justice at last. The Madras High Court has upheld a fast-track court's judgment that the rapist be jailed for 10 years. It's a victory of sorts for her family, who have fought this case in the court without giving into threats or the fear of social stigma.
நம்ம குழந்தைக்கு நடந்த மாதிரி இன்னொரு குழந்தைக்கு நடக்க கூடாது அவ்வளவுதான். வேற எந்த குழந்தைக்கு அந்த மாதிரி நடக்க கூடாது. நம்ம குழந்தைப்பட்ட வேதனை நம்ம கண்ணால பார்த்துட்டோம். அதனால இன்னொரு குழந்தைக்கு அந்த மாதிரி நடக்க கூடாது.
This conviction comes as a huge relief for the young girl and her family who fought this case for 7 long years. But the need of the hour is a special law to tackle cases of sexual offences against children.
Statistics say that more than 53% of children in India face sexual abuse in one form or the other, and more than half of them are too scared to report. Most of the time, the offender holds a position of responsibility for the child. Take the case of the Dutch national Wilhelm, for instance, who molested children at an orphanage he ran.
Law as such as it prevails today to prove rape, there should be penetration, and the entire thing of making the child repeat this also becomes a real problem, and we find that the ordinary Indian Penal Code addresses the issues of the adults more than the issue of a child in particular. That's the reason why even in this judgment the judge has specifically talked about the importance and need of the hour for having a comprehensive law against child sexual abuse.
The Madras High Court has said in its judgment that a special law is mandatory to combat sexual abuse of children, and even as the Law Ministry has taken steps to introduce a gender-neutral bill to deal with children's sexual abuse in the nation, it's time for the society to report such cases and not brush them under the carpet. In Chennai, with Ragamalika, Bertila, Ndtv-Hindu.
Well, in some more national news, the unrest in the Kashmir Valley continues. 3 people were killed in violence that erupted today. 1 person was killed and 12 others injured in the firing in the south of Kashmir in the town of Anantnag. The violence erupted during the funeral procession of a student. In another firing incident, 2 people were killed in the north of Kashmir. Police say the crowd tried to block the Srinagar-Baramulla highway and resorted to stone pelting. With these 2 deaths, the number of people killed in the valley has gone up to 100 in the last 3 months.
Deaths have now taken the number of the dead to over 100 in just the last few months alone.
Well, staying with national news, fresh revelations of spot fixing once again levelled against the Pakistan cricket team continues to gain disrepute by the day. The latest allegations have to do with yesterday's one-dayer against England. The International Cricket Council has launched an investigation into the Sun tabloid's claim that the third England versus Pakistan one-day international was in fact rigged by illegal betting syndicates in India and Dubai. While thanking the British tabloid for its expose, the ICC CEO Harun Lorgat said, and I quote, "Broadly, the information from the Sun newspapers appears to be correct, so we feel it is incumbent upon us to launch a full inquiry, although at this stage we aren't stating anything untoward has taken place." Now in news from the Champions League T20, an in-form Chennai Super Kings with a 2-hold in the semis will take on the Victorian Bushrangers that will also be looking to seal a semi-final berth as well. The Australian team made it to the semis in the last year's edition and will look to maintain that record this time too. Chennai, on the other hand, have made a tremendous start to their tournament by crushing both Vayamba and Central Stags. But this will be their first big test against the Victorian Bushrangers after facing off against 2 relatively weaker teams. Dhoni and his men are expected to have an edge as the players seem to be in their top form.
Tonight at least, making easy work of one of the bigger marches.
Well, that's all the time we have on this bulletin, but news and updates will continue on NDTV Hindu. In fact, news in Tamil is up next. Do keep watching.